Welcome to the Troy City Council meeting. This is a committee meeting. We are personnel. Mr. Kendall to my left, and I'm Mr. Twilliger, chairperson of the Personnel Committee. We have 3 issues. I guess we need time and date, don't we? That would be, we're just a little after 5 o'clock, and today is March 29th. We have 3 issues that we're going to deal with this afternoon. That first one is to amend the salary ordinance of the FLSA exempt employees to move the position of planning and zoning manager and zoning inspector from the Office of Engineering Division to the Department of Development. And there we are. Comments that you'd like to make on that?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, these are all kind of in a group, if you will. The ABC are just 3 actions that we're recommending that you take related to some reorganizations that we're recommending. And these relate to the planning work program as well as the Board of Recreation, the Recreation Board. In the 2016 budget, there was a request made by the Recreation Department, the Recreation Board, to re-elevate the part-time position to its previous full-time status, that being that of a clerk typist. By way of background, both the Planning Department and the Recreation Department saw, among other departments, saw some reductions in unfunded vacancies left in the 2008-2009 timeframe. With regards to the planning function, the planning director resigned and took a position in Yellow Springs, and rather than rehiring into a new director, given the economy, given the recession, given the fact that workload was down, that we made the decision, council did, to not refill that position and rather realign that program under the engineering department. With regards to the Recreation Department, there was I believe it was a retirement at the same time frame, roughly, and again, given the economy and the budget, the Recreation Director agreed that he would hire part-time staff or a staff member as a part-timer to keep up with the work that they've got going on there. In the 2016 work program, I believe that you've all seen a copy of, one of the projects for 2016, even though the budget did not include any significant discussion or approval of positions, was, like we've done for the last, well, ever since 2008, is to continue to look at our alignment, our workload, and our organization to see if there are any reorganizations that make sense. So this recommendation is to look at and to make recommendations regarding 2 of, in all probability, 3 departments. The fire department, the chief is looking at some staffing recommendations, or a recommendation right now. That is not on tonight's agenda. That you'll see that separately in the next couple of weeks. But with regards to the planning department, or the planning function, for the last 6 years now, that function has been under the engineering department. Over that time, as we've come out of the recession and building has grown, population has grown, subdivisions and permits have increased, as well as construction and capital projects in the engineering department have grown over the same time frame. We believe that it's really important that we look at realigning that and changing where that's reporting to, and I guess the status of the position that we want to talk about. There were two options here. One was to recommend to you hiring breaking that back off as its own department, as the planning department, and hiring another director, since it's remained vacant for the past several years. However, given the relative workloads between the engineering department and the development department, I see the best opportunity to move that as far as functionality and just making a rational fit, that it go to the planning go to the development department and report to the development director. We realign the work functions between two assistant directors, and they would then share the workload equally between the two of those. Between planning, zoning, property maintenance, we've done a lot more engineering design work, as has been noted over the last year or two. Even though we've used consultants, we still do a lot of that in-house. As I mentioned, we have quite a few pretty complex capital improvement projects that are underway, under design, or planned in the near future, with really no let-up in sight. We have additional grant activity. We've added the Complete Streets function. We're undergoing an upgrade of the comprehensive plan, and that will become even more, if you pardon the pun, comprehensive as we're moving forward. All of that workload has been increasing. So that is one recommendation. Again, we're not recommending that we hire an additional director position, but rather hire an assistant position under the development department and make that realignment. So under A and B, logistically and legally, both A and B have to happen for that recommendation to go into effect. Regarding C, C again has been a request of the Recreation Board. That is currently a part-time clerk typist position. Previously, before the retirement, it was a full-time clerk typist position, but again, the Recreation Director agreed to keep that vacant, unfunded, and rather use part-time hours to make up the workload in an effort to stabilize the budget and show as much economy as possible. The workload over in the Recreation Department continues to increase. The recreation, not only the quantity but the quality of the recreational programming has increased with the arena renovations and the expanded building and the expanded offerings that we have planned there. It's we believe important that we look at restoring the full-time position, leaving the part-time vacant, so we would dissolve, if you will, or unfund the part-time part of it, and then the part-time money would go towards the full-time position. Rather than be a clerk typist, giving us more flexibility would be the title of program coordinator. That's a civil service function that we can take care of, but would need to be established by salary schedule in our ordinances. The position would be at the same hourly rate as the full-time clerk typist, so we're not recommending an elevation of that full-time position to a higher level. We are not recommending, I don't believe we're recommending emergency on these. We are not.
Okay. Three basic issues. C being adding the staff to Hobart. B, developing that assistant development director position. And A being a structural change within from department to department. Question?
I have none. I think I described that pretty thoroughly.
Anyone else?
Just one question, if I may. Okay. Mr. Titterington, you're talking about A, B, and C, and on our council paperwork here, those are numbered 1, 2, and 3, and I'm assuming, because the headers are all correct, that the numbering is actually equaling the alphabet.
That is correct, yeah.
Thank you. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
I have a couple of questions, if you don't mind. The position of development director, will part of that come out of the TDC?
No, that's actually, it's assistant director, not another director's position. No, that is internal to us. And that will, because of the expanded role of not just the economic development program, which continues to be aggressive, but really is reflecting the planning, zoning, and the property maintenance side of things.
Okay.
So it's not a TDC issue.
What's the total additional cost? I mean, I saw the number in here of 23.8.
Yes.
But
that's
by
20
adding the person over at the at Hobart Arena and the assistant development director, what are the additional costs? And
The 23.8, is that what you said it was?
Yes.
I thought it was 6, but 23.8. That is from May 1st to the end of the year, what it will cost in 2016, and that does include benefits. That does net out the savings from not filling the zoning manager position, as well as phasing out the part-time funding over in the recreation department.
so next year it would come in closer to 45,000 to 50,000.
Yeah, I didn't do the math on that, but that's probably an accurate number.
Okay. I have no further questions, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I've got just one comment. I'm excited about getting the park or the recreation department some assistance and just the more bodies and the more hours that they can put in over there, because they are working really hard and doing a great job for us. So I'm in favor of that.
It's been a great program, and
Right.
I think with the vision of what they want Hobart to become, what we want it to become, that extra person will be needed.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's all I
Yep.
had.
I have a question, John.
Yes.
Patrick, so we're going from one full-time position in development to two?
2 positions.
Two full-time?
Well, 2 to 3. From 2 to 3. We have a director and assistant director. This would be a director and 2 assistant directors, but it would move the rest of the planning staff, which is our 2 zoning inspectors. I don't think we call them zoning inspectors anymore. We do call them. Okay.
Good to know.
Didn't want to denigrate.
This just says from 1 to 2, so that I was just clarifying if it's
1 to 2 assistants.
1 to 2
That's
assistants.
just,
Okay.
yeah, that classification.
And who's the first assistant right now?
Greg Harris,
Okay. And those will all be full-time?
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Go forward.
Move forward. So that would be our recommendation to council.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay. So our section is done.